I'm here in the northern suburbs, specifically Moona, with representatives from basketball, netball and gymnastics who stand to gain with a whole range of sports for a next generation state-of-the-art indoor sports facility to cater for the increased demand in our number of sports that I've mentioned. It has the capacity to house so many different indoor sports, but obviously we've seen a significant increased demand, particularly in the area of basketball and netball, over and above the current facilities. So this is to cater for the South's needs. We have about 5,000 participants each day in the Greater Hobart area participating in sport, and obviously we want to support healthy and active communities, and this announcement delivers on that.
Yeah, it's exciting news for basketball, and we certainly thank the government for their support. It's one where basketball's been crying out in Hobart, and we look forward to making it the home for our sport in the south, and as well as a headquarters for the Hobart Chargers and Basketball Tasmania.
It was getting on in the piece. The election's obviously coming up very, very soon. It's about time some proper money was thrown at sport, do you think?
We've been working very closely with the government, and they're very aware of the need for facilities for basketball and other sports, and we think it's a really exciting announcement. It's desperately needed and fantastic news, really.
How much weight did Anthony Moore's words have when he travelled to Hobart the other week and said that we have the worst facilities of any capital city in the nation?
Anthony Moore's visit was really timely. We plan to come down and discuss the opportunities and the issues that we're facing as a sport, and it was good for him to see our facilities, and it really confirmed what we thought that we were really deficient, and he stated that we were the worst capital city, but with the facility announcement we'll hopefully have state-of-the-art facilities for basketball and other sports, and we'll be able to host international matches like Chinese Taipei versus Australian Boomers last week in Melbourne. We'll be able to have those matches in Hobart, and also we're in discussions about the Australian Under-16 National Junior Championships, and we're talking about either 2020 or 2021 there, and an event like that brings 3,000 interstate people into the local economy, which is fantastic to be able to host those events for the first time in Hobart.
Chris, do you have any preference into where the stadium's built?
We'll go through a process there on likely locations. We like the Derwent Entertainment Centre as a venue, and we've discussed that previously, but there'll be a number of other locations in this process. The ultimate outcome is what's best for the sport and the community.
And what do you think's needed? Is it the 4-court or is it the 9-court facility? And is that $10 million enough for the whole project, do you think?
Well, we look to access some federal funds within that, and the likelihood of that is very positive. I think that it's a 4-court model is probably the best way to go, and then planning in the future after that for an additional 4-court model. That's seen to be the best process than building a 9-court super sports centre. So I do think 10 million goes a long way to what we're trying to achieve.
Who else is benefiting from this apart from the basketballers?
Yeah, the gymnastics is benefiting the sport, which is great, and netball as well. And those sports both complement basketball well. We use similar sprung floorboards for netball and basketball, and also similar linings, similar requirements for international matches and change rooms. So I think the sports will work well. Obviously, it'll cater for a number of other sports as a multi-sport facility.
How do you envision it looking, I suppose, as a arena holding those big fixtures in terms of capacity and things like that?
Well, it depends on where it ends up being the location. If it was the deck, it would complement the actual deck quite well with the show court arena as it is now, with a subsidiary show court as well. So it'd be exciting that we could host a 4,000 seat stadium, and then potentially a 2,000 seat stadium for international matches.
I know the idea is to get the planning underway. If this money does come through, but do you have sort of a hopeful date that this is built?
Well, it'd be nice. The sooner the better, but we need to get it right. Whether it's being able to host matches in 2020 or 2021. Ideally, we'd love to shoot for 2020, but these things do take some time in planning process and consulting all the parties. So we'll try to push it through to get people on the courts participating in a nice environment as soon as we can. But it'll take some time.
How much does this strengthen the state's case for an NBL team?
Yeah, well, it might complement it quite nicely. We still need to go through the process there of seeing if it's viable, but there's a strong contingent of corporate support in the state to explore it, and we look forward to seeing how that pans out. The chargers have stated that they'd like to be NBL ready, and that may mean they can either consider it or they're a very professional Siebel team, and they're making good strides in that.